Governor, you have your supporters who feel like you have handled this situation as good as you could to this point in time. You also have your critics who say that by waiting until you did to issue the stay-at-home order, you put lives at risk. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I don't think that's the case. I know it's easy to criticize when you're going through crisis. I've been around long enough to realize some people's going to do that. But I think it's important to realize when we did our first order of social distancing, where you could only have gathers of 10 people or you're 6 feet apart. The one thing I think is important to realize, there was no exceptions, there was no essential businesses in that order when we first did that. And from that day forward, every day we've been out there telling people to stay at home, stay at home, stay at home. I mean, multiple occasions. And then when we changed the order on the 2 weeks later, we realized that, well, one of the problems that created by the stay-at-home orders is people on the exemptions on the essential businesses. We started pushing large groups of people to those businesses, and that was a problem that nobody realized was going to happen, but it happened. So we were able to change that to work with the retailers across the state and, frankly, the employees across the state, because the main thing we're wanting to do is keep people safe every day. So, a lot of people can second guess. It's easy to do that. But the reality of it is I make those decisions every day, and I'm doing the best I can for the people of this state, and will continue to do that.
For those who feel like your messaging or your team's messaging regarding COVID-19 has not been complete, what do you say to those people?
No, I think every day we're about as transparent as we can be. We try to have the briefings out there, and what I really focus on every day is to put real numbers out there that pertain to Missouri. We don't use the national models out there. Frankly, I think we found out across the United States, they're not very reliable, they're not very dependent, and frankly misleading. And a lot of people utilize them sometimes to make accusations about us in the states. But I'm telling you, every day we look at what's happening in Missouri. How many ICU beds do we have? How many ventilators do we got? How many people are coming out of the hospitals? How many people are recovering? All the factual basis that we can in the state of Missouri. And that's how I make decisions every day, and I'm going to make it on that. I'm just going to make it on what's the data and what's the facts of the state.
As media members, we come after you wanting answers. We ask you questions on a daily basis. What kind of message do you think we're putting out there right now? Are we doing the job that we're supposed to be doing?
You know what? I think for the most part, most of the media outlets do. I really do. There's some out there that I'll save that for my own opinion for a later date. But I realize that most people out there are trying to do it. I think what happens is we get caught up on the national spin sometimes, and that gets very political. I do. But I think what I like out of the media, what I like for them to do is just tell the facts. Just tell you really what's happening. Look at the Missouri numbers, and so you know how to inform the public out there so they're more comfortable starting the economy. Because if they hear doom and gloom every day, people are going to be hesitant about starting this economy back up. And we have to start looking down that road. And I think the media will play a big role in that. I think them knowing the facts, knowing that 80% of the cases are in 15 areas of the state, of those counties, and the rest of them, the 12.5%, is in 90 counties. People need to know that just for a little hope, for a little security. And I think it's important that we put that out. So I think there is a role the media plays every day. And it's the same thing we're having a briefing every day, is try to get as much information out there as we can under the circumstances we're at.
Do you feel like any of this can be politicized?
Oh, I think you see that every day. You know what, that'll just have to work its way out, how people see that. A lot of it was the stay-at-home orders, and then what you realize, a lot of states jumped on that early to do that. But then what you realize is, really, who is an essential business and who is the people that have the power to decide that? So really what happened for most of the time, there was a group of bureaucrats or politicians decided who's essential and who's not. And here's the thing I always struggled with that portion of it is, for the everyday person out there that goes to work, for the person that's owned a business for 30 years, and when we think of business, we think of bricks, mortar, glass. We think of a business kind of as not that relevant. But when you really think of the people inside the business, most of them are essential people. And they thought their jobs were essential, and the hundreds upon hundreds of thousands of people on unemployment, to them and their families, they thought their jobs were essential. So I think it's one of those roads, a tough road to go down, and you got to realize there's consequences whatever you do. But at the end of the day, you're not going to make everybody happy. I realize that, but I guarantee you one thing, I will put the people of this state forward and try to do the best I can as governor of this state, making sure Missouri's taken care of.
I think it's safe to say everybody was looking at these models as if they were black and white truth in the start because we didn't have anything else to go with. What is your
Right.
opinion of the models and how people should listen to them?
You know, I think within a week, you're going to be able to see a Missouri model that is strictly designed for our state. And then we're going to have really something to compare to. And I think you're going to see some experts from WashU's involved with that, the Missouri Hospital Association's involved with that, some experts, the infectious disease people are going to be involved in this modeling. And you're going to see some real numbers. But they are going to be true numbers for the state of Missouri so the people of this know. And I think, again, when you asked earlier, what does the media do? I think get those real numbers and let people know where this is at in the state of Missouri. I think that's critical to moving from the COVID-19 to bring back the economy.